Jerry Lane Enterprises present Paradise, Louisiana, with Gary Risponi and Don Dubuque. Paradise, Louisiana is also brought to you by Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change, Cracker Barrel Convenience Stores. We have more than you expect. Always fresh, never frozen Raising Cane's. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana, Louisiana Fish Fry Products, Demco, First South Farm Credit, Pro Drive Outboards, H&E Equipment Services, an equipment company run by equipment people, and by Farm Bureau Insurance.
Welcome to Paradise, Louisiana, down in the heart of St. Mary Parish, Morgan City, where another great river ends right here, the Chapala Spillway. And the Chapala River, Don, had a great weekend. And, you know, I'm glad you made it back in time, but I'm sure you got some stories from Alaska.
Oh yeah, the Cajun Invasion was a lot of fun, and we've got some highlights, show you some of the fish we caught and some of the fun we had, and maybe tell you how you can get involved if you'd like to make that trip next year. But the real news this week is Louisiana Outdoor Writers Association's 70th annual conference and convention here in Morgan City. 70 years and still going, this association.
I want to thank the people at the Holiday Inn right here for accommodating us here this morning, right after the convention. You know, we had a couple of biscuits. Thank you for the biscuits, by the way,
oh, you're
too.
quite welcome.
I had to do something. Got to have something in that little spot. We had so much food this weekend, though. It was unbelievable. But Don, we made a little trip Friday. We had 2 or 3 boats, and some of us went to Lake Verret. I was fishing with Jamie Laiche. I want to do a little story. And Jamie is a 4-time Federation Nation qualifier. And the national championships will be coming up in November. Jamie's fishing it. And they also, you know, the inaugural Ascension Parish Anglers Bass Open, and some of that, the freighter costs of some of these guys, and everybody knows Jamie's from Ascension Parish. And he's one of the proud guys, just like they are over here in the Morgan City Pier Airport. And Mr. Crochet is their boy, you know, so Jamie made the Bassmaster Classic a few years back, and always wanting to get back. You know, that's like we're finding where the food is. You always want to get back. Jamie did. We had a little interview with Jamie. We didn't catch as many fish, but our good buddies, Joe McAloose and Gary Krause and Jeff Brewer, and they all went to the marsh, you know. They followed Mr. Cavell there, and they all caught fish. So we'll talk more about that in the fishing report. We also made a tour of the Bayou Teche National Wildlife Refuge, and we had some great hosts. You know, we made the tour, seen some stuff, very educational. So, and the rest of the stuff is here to see all these winners, all the youth, and the youth journalism, the photos they get. They got some good young writers going to be coming up.
Definitely
so,
do. Lots of awards we're giving out. Lots of awards, and we'll get to those.
That's it.
Also got big news for duck hunters especially. The duck seasons was set at the Wildlife and Fisheries Commission meeting, so you can schedule your days off and your vacations to coincide with that. And we heard a couple of really nice presentations. Larry Reynolds talking about some big changes and how they're going to set the duck seasons and regulations. And CMAC, Chris Macaluso, talking about the BP settlement and that ongoing saga about the red snapper issue. And as always, the Berkeley Abu Garcia Fishing Report. So stay with us. We're in Morgan City, 70th Annual Louisiana Outdoor Writers Association Conference, and you're watching it on Paradise, Louisiana.
It takes true grit to wake up every morning dedicated to a higher standard of work. At H&E Equipment Services, we're leveraging our national fleet of equipment with a local approach, working closely with customers to understand their needs and provide them reliability, fair prices, and the support of a first-class service team. We're an equipment company, run by equipment people. Where others stop, we continue. H&E Equipment Services, the higher standard in equipment rentals, sales, parts, and service.
I'm Jamie Laiche, and stay tuned for more Paradise, Louisiana.
I'm on my 3rd Tahoe.
And I'm on my 4th Chevy Silverado pickup.
Hey, you know I've had 4 Camaros and 5 Corvettes. Got them all from Jerry Lane.
proud to be a Jerry Lane family.
All lanes lead to, you can count on Jerry Lane.
Welcome back to Morgan City. We're here for the 70th Annual Louisiana Outdoor Writers Association Conference. And Gary, I made it back just in time from the Cajun Invasion, our annual trek to Alaska. Yeah, it was pretty chilly up there, but we actually had some warm days, and people were kidding us Cajuns. You must have brought this heat up here with you, because we haven't had it this warm in a long time. But it was a lot of fun, and we got so much footage. We're going to be showing you this over the next several weeks. But the trip that is really, really a great one to make, and I would highly recommend it for anyone that goes to Alaska, whether you're going to fish or you're going as a sightseeing tourist, is to go visit the glaciers. You know, that is a remarkable phenomenon, and we made a trip on a boat that was captained by, believe it or not, a guy from St. Amant, Louisiana, running the tour boat up there for the glaciers. His name is Cody Hanna. He spends his summers up there in Whittier. He spends his winters back here in St. Amant. A great guy and very knowledgeable about the glaciers and the wildlife and everything you see up there. So we're going to take you on a little glacier tour and kind of cool you down during this extremely hot summer.
Wildlife in Alaska, in fact, all the wildlife in the world. When I come back in my next life, that's what I want to be, the glacier playboy. It always seems like no matter how far away you go, you find somebody from home. Let me show you what I'm talking about.
My name's Cody Hanna, hometown Santa Maria, Louisiana. But I did a semester of college up here from LSU. I did an exchange program about 9 years ago to Alaska, and always loved it and wanted to come back, and started working full-time for my father on the Mississippi River down in Louisiana, and then got an opportunity to come up here, so took it. Now I get to do both. So half the year up here and then half the year back down there. Oh, I'd miss a lot of Louisiana. I've stayed through December when I was in college here, and it gets mighty cold, but I miss the food and obviously family and things like that, so it's nice to go back and see them. This is hard to leave also. I get to see so much, you know, in 6 months and meet all kind of people, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah, not sure yet. You know, me and my wife still trying to make life plans. She comes up here, travels with me, and we have our home back in Louisiana. So yeah, not quite sure what the future holds yet, but we're enjoying it right now.
Scientists say that these glaciers move about a foot per day. At that rate, how long would it take to get down to Venice? And if you're real quiet, you can hear the sounds of a melting glacier.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've seen or heard one good crack, but we have not seen a large calving yet. So we're going to try to help it. On the count of 3, we're all going to scream out surprise. And we're going to see if we can't help this glacier along. 1, 2, 3, surprise!
Oh, I know. Sometimes unworldly ways and means, and I can see the future killing me. On a misbegotten highway of prophecies and dreams, a road to nowhere and eternity. And I know it's just changes, yes, and mankind marching on. I know we can't live in yesterday, but compared to what we're losing and what it means to me, I'd give my life and throw the rest away. To the mountains, I can rest there. To the rivers, I will be strong. To the forest, I'll find peace there. To the wild country, I belong. To the wild country, where I
Remember, when you make your Cajun invasion to Alaska, dress warm, even if it's the dead middle of summer. But please remember, go look beyond the fishing. Look at the wildlife, the unique habitat. The only thing sad about Alaska is when you have to wave goodbye.
Who doesn't want to save money on fuel? Now, Shell and the Fuel Rewards Network are putting you in control of how much you pay for fuel. Simply buy whatever's on your shopping list. Clothes, groceries, even dinner out. And earn cents per gallon savings at participating retailers nationwide. Now, fuel prices are in your hands. So why wait? Sign up at fuelrewards.com today and turn shopping power into saving power.
Visit Cracker Barrel convenience stores before heading fishing or hunting. We have more than you expect.
You're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
The excitement builds for the 2015 CCA Star Tournament. This year's Star is loaded with new ways to win your share of over $1.5 million in prizes, including Tag Trout Division and more paid places for heaviest trout.
Believe it or not, I actually won.
Over 108 days of fishing with over 25 inshore and offshore divisions. We have something for everyone. Be the first to catch a tag redfish and win a new Chevy Silverado. Enter now for just $30 by registering at ccastar.com. Share in the passion, then serve our coast.
Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change has been keeping cars and trucks in Baton Rouge clean and running smooth for over 50 years. At Benny's, we feature professional car washing, complete detailing, high-tech waxing and buffing, interior cleaning, and tire shine. Benny's, one stop for car maintenance with complete oil and lube services and even state inspections at our express locations. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations, including our newest store on Greenwell Springs Road. And don't forget to stop by Be Quick Convenience Store and Fuel Stop. Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change. Drive in dirty, drive out clean.
You can count on Jerry Lane.
At Jerry Lane, they rolled the red carpet out for me.
It's always been Jerry.
You know what? It's tradition, it's family, and that's what keeps us coming back to Jerry Lane.
Get the lane, get the lane. Get the lane, get the lane. Get the lane, get the lane.
We're a Jerry Lane family.
Always lead to. You can count on Jerry Lane.
Morning.
Salt, water,
Yeah, we're idling through Dwaron's Canal right now, going to make a trip around Stevensville, and just idling on through. You already see the surface temperature is 88.6 degrees. Early August. The early morning bite is probably going to be critical to catching a few fish after the sun comes up. Bites might slow down a little bit, but hopefully we'll get lucky and catch a few. Fish are going to want to feed early and then hunker down and, you know, wait till the water cools off again in the evening. So that's basically what I look for this time of the year.
How do you feel?
I've been fishing my whole life. My dad started me off young. He was a great fisherman. I didn't start competitive tournament fishing until 2000. I met my wife in 1999. Her dad, Will Major, was a big tournament fisherman. I was just a recreational fisherman. And he introduced me to the competitive side of bass fishing. And I started as his amateur back when they had the Pro-Am circuit. And you know, I started in 2000. I liked the competitive nature of fishing. I had a little bit of success, and I've been doing it ever since. Just lost one. Basically, once I started competitive fishing, I was doing some research, and a lot of my friends were talking about how you can make it to the Bassmasters Classic through the Federation. And I was interested in that, and I started fishing Federation. And I've qualified, this will be my 4th time for the Bass Federation Nation National Championship. And the first time I made it to the Nationals, it was out of Lake Toho in Florida. I was able to finish 2nd in the tournament, and I made it to the Bassmasters Classic for 2008 out of Lake Hartwell, South Carolina. So that was the one that Alton Jones won. And that was a experience of a lifetime. And once you make it once, all you can think about is getting back to it. A little bit better.
Yeah, a bit big.
Yeah. Boy, this is a Brovani swim jig. Still has a weed guard, but it's a very thin weed guard. And it has a smaller hook than a regular flipping jig, but it's razor sharp. The tournament coming up is the Bass Federation Nation National Championship. It's going to be in West Monroe on the Ouachita River. Basically, it takes a year to qualify through the system to get to that step. You have to fish 2 Louisiana State qualifying tournaments to make the top 12, and you make the Louisiana State team. Then you have to fish a divisional that takes, I think it's 8 states from the Central Division, and then the top qualifier in each state goes to the national championship. So I was fortunate enough to win the Louisiana State on Ross Barnett Reservoir in Jackson, Mississippi, which qualified me for this next tournament on the Ouachita River. I would have to say, you know, for the working man like myself, fishing the Federation it's not an easy route, but it is something that makes it possible, and that's why I love the Federation.
Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might want to make decisions based on service and savings, not because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're based in Louisiana with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
Who doesn't want to save money on fuel? Now, Shell and the Fuel Rewards Network are putting you in control of how much you pay for fuel. Simply buy whatever's on your shopping list. clothes, groceries, even dinner out. And earn cents per gallon savings at participating retailers nationwide. Now, fuel prices are in your hands. So why wait? Sign up at fuelrewards.com today and turn shopping power into saving power.
Visit Cracker Barrel convenience stores before heading fishing or hunting. We have more than you expect.
When you're ready to really enjoy life at a slower pace, become a landowner. First South Farm Credit specializes in financing and refinancing land, but not just for farmers. They offer loans to purchase timberland, hunting and fishing, or recreational property. Their experience in land, timber, and loans set them apart from standard lending institutions. Contact a First South Farm Credit loan officer for more information. First South Farm Credit, a specialized rural land investment lender helping you realize your dream.
Come to the family-owned and operated Cassius Casino in Port Allen today, where the Vegas-style video poker machines are ready for your entertainment. Cassius Casino is the finest, cleanest, classiest casino around. And Cassius 50-style diner is now serving seafood daily, along with your favorite home-cooked specials 24/7. Hey, Cassius is fun. Cassius is exciting. So come to the unsinkable Cassius Casino in Port Allen. Over the river 2 miles west of exit 151.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana. And Gary, you know, whenever we show up as Louisiana Outdoor Writers Association and we work with the different tourism organizations and visitors and convention bureaus across the state, they always work very closely with us to give us a good welcome and make sure we've got enough information to share with our audience so that people will know if they plan on coming down here, what some of the sights are to see and some of the activities. And St. Mary did a great job here this weekend.
Oh, it was a host. We had two of the mayors there, one from Berwick and one from Morgan City. They showed us around. They showed us the sights here. They had a big list of the homes, some of the homes here, aviation history. There's so much history in there, all about the black bear. But one of the interesting tour for us was to go to the Teche. And you know what? I didn't realize how long the Bayou Teche is. Now, it starts up in Port Barry. And it comes all the way down through all these parishes, down that St. Landry Parish, all the way here, and then makes its way to the Gulf. And so it's so much history here, and there's so many places you can go and get brochures. They got walking tours, they got riding tours. Anything you want to see, you can see here. And with the bird season, the birders coming up in October, this thing's going to be inundated. Between here and Hackberry, they're inundated with birders from all over the country. So we're talking about birders, we're talking about bird watchers, you know, people that identify. They got big days. But let's go with a tour. We went on a tour. We had Brian Pember. He was from U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. And Donovan Garcia, walking encyclopedia, raised down here, just knew everything it is about the Teche and all the history. The sawmills, Cypress, you know, the biggest Cypress industry here back in the old days. They built ships with them and everything else. This guy is unbelievable. He's with the Friends of the Teche. So let's go see a tour. Let them guys talk, because, boy, they know what's going on.
Hi, I'm Louis Ratcliffe and my wife Janice. I'm Mayor of Berwick, Louisiana, and welcome to our area.
Frank Rizzavi, the mayor of Morgan City. You know, we're the granddad and mother as far as the outdoors concerned. We'd like to welcome everybody down here to Morgan City. Lots of things to do, home of the Louisiana Shrimp and Petroleum Festival and some of the best fishing around. Come on to Morgan City and have a good time.
I'm Vanessa Spinella. I'm the sales manager at the Cajun Coast. We'd like to welcome everybody to the Cajun Coast, so y'all come visit us.
My name is Brian Pember. I'm the assistant manager here at Bayou Teche National Wildlife Refuge. And this morning we're going to go on some hiking trails and give you guys a good experience and a good look at what the swamps and the bayous look like at Bayou Teche National Wildlife Refuge. We'll be going on 3 trails on 2 different units of the refuge, which is comprised of 9,028 acres on 6 units. of our trails are like this. They're cypress tupelos, they're wet, lots of palmettos along the understory, and really about the only place you've got high ground is on the levees and the dikes that were formed when they dug the ditches. Both of these trails are at the end of Stenson Road. The trail we went on first, we keep that mowed. It's much shorter. It's only maybe 0.2 of a mile long. The trail we're currently on is a little over a mile, and it's not mowed at all. It's just a dirt trail on top of a dike that meanders through the palmettos and the trees that are growing on the dike.
If you walked every one of our trails, you would actually have walked 18 miles. I would also like to invite anybody who would like to come to our refuge and see our trails or help with our trails or suggestions. We do have 54 miles of paddling trails. We have 4 brand new kayaks we just received, and we have 6 canoes that are available for you to use at any time as long as we have a guide with you. It's a safety issue. It's not, we do not rent canoes, we do not rent kayaks, but we'll be glad to take you on the trails if we are available. We're now on the Garden City unit. We're on top of the levee, one of the protection levees of St. Mary Parish, and we're now heading to what's called the Garden City Boardwalk. It's about 400 feet down on top of the levee top, and then we cross over the levee, and our boardwalk is about 300 feet into a cypress tupelo swamp. When you come on this refuge, about every 3 months, you're going to see different things in bloom or a different time of the year. October through April is just gorgeous in here, and this in April you're going to see all the purple and the orange or reddish iris are in bloom at that time of the year. It's a good time to be here in the spring.
In the month of March, month of April, and May. This is one of the finest refuges to be on in the state for neotropic songbird migration, right here. And I come here every April, May, and I spend time, and we do prothonotary warblers. I've seen yellow warblers, painted bunnies, billed cuckoos, rose-breasted grosbeaks. The woodpeckers here are always here, the palliated, rose-breasted, red-breasted. This is a really hot spot for birders. And this is where I spend a lot of my time in the spring in non-consumptive stuff. You know, I'm not out there, I'm not fishing, I'm not hunting, I'm just enjoying nature. I've seen otters, deer, I've seen those kind of things, blackbird.
This trail wanders through a cypress tupelo swamp. Typically, it's very wet, it's very damp, but it gives you a really great feel for what it's like to walk through that environment. It's squishy, it's moist most of the time. Right now, this is unusual, it's actually dry. And you can walk through it. And like all of our trails, it's marked with the orange blazer sign.
We'd like everybody to know that this refuge is their refuge. It's a federal refuge, and you have the right to use it. We'd like you to respect it and keep the trash off the refuge. And if you'd like to volunteer and help us maintain this refuge, it's www.BayouTechRefugeFriends.org. And we'd be glad to have you join us. And if you're into trail building or paddling or hiking, please come join us. Have some fun with us. Thank you.
I can't believe y'all brought me out in the blind and we ain't got no food.
Don't worry, Gary. This will be over quick.
Man, I'm hungry.
Get down, Gary. Here they come. That dog loves to hunt.
I really like hunting, but you know what I really love?
I know, Gary. Food.
Now I can eat. Cane's, the official chicken of Louisiana Outdoors.
Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change has been keeping cars and trucks in Baton Rouge clean and running smooth for over 50 years. At Benny's, we feature professional car washing, complete detailing, high-tech waxing and buffing, interior cleaning, and tire shine. Benny's, One stop for car maintenance with complete oil and lube services and even state inspections at our express locations. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations, including our newest store on Greenwell Springs Road. And don't forget to stop by Be Quick Convenience Store and Fuel Stop. Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change. Drive in dirty, drive out clean.
As members of a Touchstone Energy cooperative, we've all got a job to do. And the more we work together, the more we save. That's the power of your co-op membership.
Demco, your Touchstone Energy cooperative.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana from Morgan City, Louisiana Outdoor Writers Association Conference. And in addition to doing our internal awards and conducting our annual meeting and business of the association, one of the real highlights is the awards presentation. And there were a lot of awards passed out this weekend. The Fish of the Year awards were made. We also have the youth get involved in both the journalism contest, and also we've got male and female hunters of the year and fishermen of the year, anglers of the year. And in addition to that, we had a very special award, which is not presented every year. It's called the Arthur Van Pelt Award, and Glenn Harris, certainly a worthy recipient of that.
Oh, he's a legend, no doubt about it. Everybody you talk to, Glenn Harris. Glenn Harris is what he got the award for. He's a legend.
In one word, Glenn Harris is a storyteller. That's the best thing that you can use to describe Glenn Harris. And you know, he joins now a pretty exclusive bunch. The recipients, Arthur Van Pelt was one of the earliest outdoor writers, and he was a conservationist ahead of his time. He was crying foul when they were talking about building the spillway and diverting the river, and he was against that, talking about how that was going to hurt the wetlands. And I'm talking around the turn of the century. So he was a man ahead of his time, and certainly it's an honor to win the Van Pelt. We'll take you to the award ceremony that took place this weekend in Morgan City, and here are our award winners from Louisiana Outdoor Writers Association.
Bear with us for a minute. LOWA does several different awards, not all the time, not every year, and really only when deserving. And this particular award is just, if you see the people that have won it in the past, I mean, if you're in that company, it's something serious. But it's called the Arthur Van Pelt Award. We've got a whole write-up on our website about the award, but the award is given to an individual who has a lifetime record of achievement and dedication to conservation. Van Pelt was born in 1882 and was far ahead of his time and a legend in outdoor writing and conservation. Anyone receiving this award is an exemplary company. The award is not always given to a member of the organization. It can be anybody that's achieved in conservation. This year, it happens to be a member of our organization for a long time. He's been a member of LOWA since 1990. He grew up with brothers and sisters in North Louisiana, received his bachelor's degree from Northwestern State University in Natchitoches, and went to graduate school at LSU in Baton Rouge. He worked for 30 years until retirement as a social worker, supervisor, and social work administrator for the Louisiana Public Assistance Agency. He's lived in Ruston, Louisiana around 40 years and has been married to Ms. Kay for 31 years. 3 daughters, 10 grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren. While still working for the state, he began writing for local newspapers as a side job, doing fishing reports, articles on hunting, and such. This side job has since morphed into a successful career as an award-winning outdoor journalist and outdoor radio broadcaster. He has 3 radio shows a week and writes a weekly column for the Ruston Daily Leader. He's an incredible guitar player and plays with a country music gospel band once a week. We had some comments from his grandkids I wanted to put on here. And Callie, aged 19, says he's a warm, affectionate man with a deep respect of the outdoors. I'm so proud of Papa. Kate, age 17, says that he's inspiring, encouraging, and loving. Olivia, age 9, says he taught me to play the guitar and he's funny and smart. Sophie, age 8, says I love his blueberry pancakes. Last but certainly not least, Grace, age 3, who says he is handsome and makes me happy. She adds that he's funny when he spits out his watermelon seeds. For me, just to be able to stand up here and announce his name. Obviously, he knows who he is, and many of the rest of them do, but he did not know until tonight. But we're going to present the Arthur Van Pelt Awards 2015 to Mr. Glenn Harris.
One comment, that man had a beautiful hat on when he hit this fish in his hand.
Hang on, Glenn, let me get the picture.
I don't know what to say, folks. Thank you.
Okay, this is Maya Guarbois, the 2014 Female Youth Hunter of the Year. She hunted alligators, squirrels, and deer. She was 3 for 3 with deer. Maya, what was the most fun part of your hunting experience?
Being outside and spending time with my family. Just enjoying all of it.
You gonna keep hunting?
Yes, sir.
That's what we want. This is William Marson, our 2014 Male Youth Hunter of the Year. He's a big turkey hunter. William, what was the most exciting part of your hunt?
Being with my family and enjoying the great outdoors.
Y'all gonna keep turkey hunting?
Yes, sir.
And deer hunting and everything
Yes, sir.
else? Good deal. That's what this youth hunting program is all about, to keep our youth hunters in the woods.
We're here at the Louisiana Outdoor Writers Association Youth Angler of the Year Award, and this is our first female winner ever, and her name is Beatrice Long, and she's from Lafayette, Louisiana. She's 7 years old. Beatrice, I have to ask you a question about your winning essay. What did you like most about that fishing trip? Was it the crabbing or was it the fishing?
I really loved fishing. It was important to me, and I knew we couldn't leave it out. It was fun, and I always liked doing it. And my first fish, it was great to have. It was a
What kind of fish was it?
Very yummy dinner, a redfish.
And you had an animal friend that was interested in that fish too. Who else was in your story besides the redfish?
It was Minou, my kitten. It means girl kitty in French. Minou.
Well, we're very proud of you for winning. Congratulations. And I hope you enjoy your lifetime license.
Thank you.
You're very, very welcome. Congratulations.
The excitement builds for the 2015 CCA Star Tournament. This year's Star is loaded with new ways to win your share of over $1.5 million in prizes, including Tag Trout Division and more paid places for heaviest trout.
Believe it or not, I actually won.
Over 108 days of fishing with over 25 inshore and offshore divisions. We have something for everyone. Be the first to catch a tagged redfish and win a new Chevy Silverado. Enter now for just $30 by registering at ccastar.com. Share in the passion, then serve our coast.
Ask me about my Tempur-Pedic.
Ask me how fast I fall asleep.
Why not talk to someone who's sleeping on the most highly recommended bed in America?
Ask me about staying asleep.
Tempur-Pedic owners are more satisfied than owners of any traditional mattress brand.
Ask me how it feels after 10 years.
Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America.
Ask about Tempur-Pedic at Olin's, where you know you always get the guaranteed low price. Olin's is the only store in Baton Rouge and Lafayette with the full line of Tempur-Pedics.
When you're ready to really enjoy life at a slower pace, become a landowner. First South Farm Credit specializes in financing and refinancing land, but not just for farmers. They offer loans to purchase timberland, hunting and fishing, or recreational property. Their experience in land, timber, and loans set them apart from standard lending institutions. Contact a First South Farm Credit loan officer for more information. First South Farm Credit, a specialized rural land investment lender helping you realize your dream.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana, our news segment. And Gary, the big news everybody's talking about is we're getting ready for hunting seasons. Duck and goose seasons were set by Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. And some pretty strange occurrences going on. This is the first time I can remember where 3 zones all had different starting dates.
And the first one is starting about 8 days earlier than it normally does. And it sort of was contrary to all the surveys they were doing and people's requests. Larry Reynolds explained some of the reasons why, and they did it that way, but I think he's perplexed too a little bit about it, but it's a learning process, and every year with change, you find out what works and don't work. I don't know if you remember about the youth hunts. Everybody wants to say, start them the first weekend before the season. Everybody says, well, we spent all this money, this and that, and the kids are going to get the benefit, and we got all our clients coming in. It's not a good idea. Now, you and I thought it was selfish. So they compromised, you know how they did it. In the south and in the west zone, or the coastal zone, they still start a week early with the youth hunts, and they're going to do it again this year. I like that because the birds are, it's not freezing cold, it's not good, it's a good time to take the kids out. Now they split. In the east zone, they split it. They get one day early, and then they get another day at the end of the season. And I've been on the end of the season, and it was great. The kids, after all of us gone, the ducks ain't as leery, I guess, for some reason. We've had some great youth hunts in the east zone at the end of the season.
Well, one thing
That's
I don't
my
think they
opinion.
took into consideration was that's Halloween weekend in the coastal zone, so it's going to be trick or duck instead of trick or treat. Kids might have to make a decision to go spend it at the duck camp or to go to the Halloween parties. But all in all, you know,
Just check the website if it's confusing for you. Just go to the Louisiana Wildlife Fisheries website, and they'll have all the dates updated
It's
right
60 days, which we've been enjoying for the last several years. Bag limits are pretty much the same, except we're getting one extra canvas back this year. So you get 2 canvas back as opposed to 1 that you had last year. But we're running them on the screen. Those are the dates. And we're going to get Larry Reynolds, the waterfowl study leader, to come on because there's a whole new way we're going to be setting duck seasons and goose seasons. We'll get him to talk about that. And I think it's a good thing because it's going to be much more sooner in advance. You'll know the details
And
of
I'm
these
going to give you also a warning with the deer season is approaching. There's a seminar will be going on at Crown Plaza. You look at the Advocate and you can see things going to tell you about what's going on in deer season, food plots. And we're going to bring Dave Marlin, one of the experts on deer hunting for years, and he still volunteers his time and does everything. We're going to be bringing him on pretty soon too, and he talk about food plots and whatever, how to get your place ready.
Hey, you got some news on some events coming. Of course, Ride the Bull. That's the highlight of this weekend
That's
coming
it.
up.
That's the world's
Biggest
kayak tournament. We talked to Chris Holmes and Vicky Holmes, and as of this weekend, they were way over 500. So whether we'll break 732, I don't know. They got a few other tournaments going on right now. The CCA has got the Specs and Spots tournament out at Vermilion Bay, and then you got Jigging for Gene, that's a fundraiser over there in the Lodge, and then you got all your CCA stuff coming up, your banquets, the Sugar Chapter. They got the Louisiana Saltwater Series coming up in August 22nd, and 22nd is jammed up that day, so you get your choice where you want to go. They got 22nd annual Pelican State Friends of the NRA banquet. That's a big banquet, and then you got the 14th Baton Rouge chapter of Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. So it covered up, and then also on the 29th, we talked about it with Jamie Lester, and got the inaugural Ascension Area Anglers Bass Open. So we got events. You can look at our event calendar too, some of the other banquets coming up.
Also in the news, continuing to be in the news, is the red snapper story. Chris Macaluso, Theodore Roosevelt Conservation Program, gave a presentation, and he kind of summed up. We got a Gulf Council meeting in New Orleans this coming week, and there's some more goings on and dealings, whether it's going to be state or regional or federal management. Chris kind of sums it up in a little presentation he made here at the Writer Association. Chris Macaluso, TRCP.
You know, it continues to be a very contentious, convoluted, there's all kinds of confusion about what's going on at the council level, about who's going to get the fish when, and the divisions of the seasons between the commercial and the charters and the recreationals. And, ultimately, I think what this works out to is that it's going to take a change in the congressional authorization of how these fish are managed in order for us to come to a more permanent resolution on red snapper management in the Gulf. We've had some attempts to reauthorize the Magnuson Act this year in Congress. Magnuson is the overarching legislation that manages saltwater fish in federal waters. And that's really where some of the problems with red snapper management come from in terms of what we're dealing with here in the Gulf and even in the South Atlantic. And I was reminded a couple of weeks ago at the ICAST show that if we think we got it bad in the Gulf, in the South Atlantic, they had a 0-day red snapper recreational season this year. So So things are kind of bad all over with the management of that fish. But we've had a couple of attempts in Congress this year to try to address some of those issues. I think the next shot at this is going to be a piece of legislation that was introduced by Congressman Graves from here in Louisiana that looks at handing over the management of red snapper in the Gulf of Mexico to an authority created by the fisheries managers in all 5 Gulf states. And really, that's a pretty remarkable step to get all 5 states to agree to the parameters of a management system on how to manage red snapper out in the Gulf of Mexico. Well, you have the potential of seeing some minor changes, with some of the votes that are coming up in the Gulf Council. But I think in terms of significant changes, if we can get some traction with Representative Graves' bill, you may be looking at sometime next year. I think the prospects slow down a little bit on getting a broader Magnuson reauthorization because of the presidential election. I'm not a big fan of this, but apparently in Washington things shut down when we have a presidential election. I didn't realize that we were, that we elected congressmen to take a break for 18 months while other people ran for president, but apparently that's the way they do things up there. So I think the prospects of us not, of having some delays in the reauthorization of Magnuson are pretty good. But again, we continue to take little small steps forward in getting better recognition and better, of how recreational fishermen fish reflected in the laws. And really, when you look at how the states have managed very important fish species like redfish or black drum or speckled trout or flounder, fish that have value both commercially and recreationally across the Gulf, I think they've done a tremendous job. It's where we start dealing with this federal management where we hit sticking points.
Introducing Powerade Ion 4, complete with 4 electrolytes lost in sweat. Powerade Ion 4, the complete sports drink.
It's that time of year to get your gear. Visit ParadiseLouisiana.com and click shop to get your official merchandise online. Whether hunting, fishing, or just enjoying all Louisiana has to offer, get geared up at ParadiseLouisiana.com.
It takes true grit to wake up every morning dedicated to a higher standard of work. At H&E Equipment Services, we're leveraging our national fleet of equipment with a local approach, working closely with customers to understand their needs and provide them reliability, fair prices, and the support of a first-class service team. We're an equipment company, run by equipment people. Where others stop, we continue. H&E Equipment Services, the higher standard in equipment rentals, sales, parts, and service.
I'm from Bayou Blue, Houma, Louisiana, and I'm the co-chairman of the rodeo.
Fish in the same general area. It weighed about a pound less than the one I weighed for the star. And our stringer actually was just as big as the stringer as Ed Sexton and Dudley and I had for the faux pas. Yeah. Me and Dr. Weiss and my very good friend Terry Sincere and my brother Charlie fished out of Charlie's boat. Thank God we had his boat, because it's a 34-foot venture and it got plenty rough. And Doc helped us a lot, with everything. And we had a great weekend.
First fish,
First fish, first day.
First day.
I enjoyed my time. I enjoyed being with them. I caught very few fish. In fact, I caught 1 trout in 2 days of fishing. We fished hard. Tony and I did a great job.
Live croakers the first day, big live shrimp the second day.
Okay, where they come from?
The shrimp came from Venice, at the Cypress Cove Marina, and I transported the crocus from Slidell.
What's your buddy's name?
Dune Trulier.
We appreciate you, Dune.
Brandy Foxworth, Houma, Louisiana.
Scott, see you at every rodeo. Good thing y'all covered this. 4 more minutes, Gary. All we gotta wait.
My name is Carly Ardon, and I'm from St. Lucie High School.
Ray Ollimore from Bayou Black.
Sam Carroll from Clearwood Junior High School, Slidell, Louisiana, and this number's about to be changed.
I fished in Bayou Black. I did a lot of running, fished a lot of marsh cuts. Just try to stay in the dead ends, fish as much to the edge of the marsh that I could. I caught a bunch of fish, limited out pretty quick. It's all about the morning, evening bite. I caught them on frog and a bigger spinnerbait, a 3/8 ounce spinnerbait, chartreuse white, blue skirt, and then mix it up with a popper and a chug bug. But first hour in the morning and the last hour in the afternoon. Other than that, you just about to hang it up. It's too hot.
Come to the family-owned and operated Cassius Casino in Port Allen today, where the Vegas-style video poker machines are ready for your entertainment. Cassius Casino is the finest, cleanest, classiest casino around. And Cassius 50-style diner is now serving seafood daily, along with your favorite home-cooked specials 24/7. Hey, Cassius is fun. Cassius is exciting. So come to the unsinkable Cassius Casino in Port Allen. Over the river 2 miles west of exit 151.
GM Cable, locally owned and operated since 1984, has grown from a one-man shop to a family company with more than 90 employees. For more than 2 decades, GM Cable has established itself as one of the most trusted contractors in Louisiana. GM Cable specializes in fiber optic installation, video surveillance, directional boring, aerial and outdoor construction, and much more. Log on to gmcable.com to learn more about this rock-solid local company. GM Cable, improving the standards of communication.
Welcome to the Berkeley Abu Garcia Fishing Report. And Gary, we're in Morgan City down near the basin. So let's start with freshwater fishing. You got a chance to make a little trip while you were down here for the LOWA convention, and we also had some other members who did quite well down here.
Well, I didn't follow what I knew and what we've been hearing and go to the marsh, but Gary Krause and Joe and them went in the marsh and it paid off for them. They caught the tide moving just right and hot. They found them fishing ponds, not canals like they've been doing. And people would ask me about sac-a-lait. People ask me about sac-a-lait everywhere. Well, the sac-a-lait down in the marsh was in the canals, and they were in the deep part of the canals. And you find grass floating or patches of grass. You want to fish the outside, black and chartreuse, blue and white, 2 best colors that I hear. But the bass, even in the lake where they were catching bass, the water is still high. It wasn't moving that much that day on the tide. And when we first got there, we had a ripple. So Jamie said, maybe we fished those tree lines, and where the wind was blowing up in the trees, and it moves them fish around. We were getting hits we were fishing plastic, we was getting hits on goggle eye and brim, catching a few knot hits. That's the main thing what we caught. But Joe and them 8s and 8s, double hook, the old 8s and 8s, they were fishing them. Chartreuse white and blue, chartreuse and black, they were fishing that, catching them a little bit of everything. But spinnerbait, small spinnerbaits was the best bait. So, and that was in the marsh in Bayou Black. Other reports we get to Toledo Bend. By the way, I'm gonna be at Toledo Bend Friday night for a big reception at Cypress Bend. We got people from Bass, the editor of Bass Magazine. Y'all heard last month that Bass Magazine named them the #1 bass lake in the country again. So they got a little celebration and bring that well-deserved honor back to Louisiana. I also want to congratulate Lucas Ragusa, 20 pounds, .06, and Derek Harnall. They were 1 and 2. He was 19.38, The ABA Regional in Toledo Bend on August 1st and 2nd. Congratulations, guys.
Other than that, you know, it's been really hot, so a lot of people are not spending a lot of time fishing, particularly freshwater. Did get some little inklings of some action starting to pick up down in the Venice area because now that river's starting to drop out and things are leveling off down there. But moving over to saltwater's been some great fishing. We got the reopening of the triggerfish and the amberjack for the offshore guys. Some big amberjack have been caught, and they're telling me it's kind of like a parallel to the snapper situation. Since they've had this closure, the amberjack are so thick out there, you can't hardly get a bait past them to get down deep to fish some of those groupers. So if you're interested in what they call a reef donkey, there's a lot of good action out there for the offshore guys. And the tuna's starting to move in too.
Oh yeah, I've heard reports from tuna, especially during the Grand Isle Rodeo. I talked to Larry Drywron, and he was supposed to send me some pictures of him and his kids. And, you know, I was over there at Drywron's Landing, and Larry said, you wouldn't believe, he's talking about 17 yellowfin, 35 blackfin, and they were just talking about all the big yellowfin tuna. I was thinking about all the steaks that were going at.
Well, on the saltwater side, we got the ride the bull. There's certainly bull redfish in the passes. I got a lot of reports, particularly last weekend. Now, whether it's going to change for the ride the bull, there's a lot of those big bulls around Caminada, Barataria, passes, cruising those shoreline. Even got some reports of bull redfish in Lake Pontchartrain. Extreme early for that. Anything else?
I can't think of, Don. We probably like that ways. We got so much news here in Louisiana fishing that we missed something. If we missed it, correct me. Gary at Paradise, Louisiana, send me those pictures. Yeah, send me that correction. Say, hey, oh, you said this, you said that. Let me know. Even if it's criticism, I'll take it.
I got one more fishing report for you. The halibut in Alaska are biting. And they're big and they're bad.
That's that flounder on steroids?
That's the flounder on steroids, yeah. We got lots more of that coming up for you. So make sure you join us again next week for another edition of Paradise, Louisiana.